Hey Scorpio, Riverica here, reporting for duty on a trigger. Thank you so much for shuffling states of emergency into adoption spirit magic with us and steering clear of danger. Heartily, we are grateful. In this session, we are exploring what may help you move forward in the highest love and light through June 2023. But before that, some disclaimers. I am not a doctor, lawyer, therapist. I'm a fortune teller, so what I offer is no substitute for their services. Furthermore, what I share does not determine your future. Only your intentions and actions do. So please use your gifts of discernment before deciding what to gather and take away. And of course, take only what resonates and blow like a kiss the rest to the universe for cosmic composting into beauty. This reading is intended for fun and games, for shits and giggles, for entertainment, for flexing our heart, mind, body, soul, spirit, and intuition and emotions, and at the least, I hope to cause harm to none, and at the most, I hope I may assist you on your healing path. All that said, let's take a moment to clear the space and play a little bit as we do that with this little shaker. So fun. The shaker was calling to be used to help clear the space. And yes, if you guessed labradorite, you were correct. It is the stone that may be helping us play through June 2023 or through the next year, through 2024, or whenever you're seeing this. So you can check out 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 27 different sources about labradorite and see what resonates with you, because we're all different psychosocial science experiments, and what resonates for you may be different than me, and so I enjoy inviting you to explore on your own what this means for you. But off the top of my head, I would say one word that sums it up for me is transformation. Transformation. But check it out for yourself. And thank you for helping me clear the space, for holding the intention of seeing only love, and only love we shall see. And I'm about to ring this bell, so thank you for adjusting to make sure your ears remain safe and sound. And here we go. Mind, body, speech, and perfect oneness, I send my heart along with the sound of the bell. My ears awaken from forgetfulness and transcend all anxiety and sorrow. Om. Peace. Shanti. Thank you. So fun. So this deck of cards is one of the only Romani decks in circulation that I am aware of. It's the Living Altar, and I shall try to remember to leave the information in the details section, and you can quadruple check, but I think it's thelivingaltar.com. You can find this deck and find out more about Kiki Robinson and Ilva Droma Marzana Ratsisuski, the creators of this deck. And you may also find them on Instagram and their podcast, Altars Up Witches. And you may also enjoy the Romanistan podcast, the Halloween episodes, where the Romanistan creator and her co-host Paulina Verminsky and Jessica Reedy invited Kiki and Ilva, the creators of this deck, over to Romanistan podcast to share spooky stories. And so Kiki and Ilva shared spooky stories about the making of this deck. So you may enjoy taking in those Halloween episodes of the Romanistan podcast. And you may also enjoy hearing more about Paulina's story from the new LA Times podcast called Foretold that is coming out on Tuesdays. And then Romanistan podcast debriefing that follows that podcast, Foretold. So you may appreciate helping hold safe sound space for our communities and yourself along the way. So I offer those to you, and let's see, Scorpio. Let's see what may help you move forward in the highest love and light this June 2023. And you are a whole, full, powerful, loving, spiritual being, Scorpio, and so am I. And we thank your source and spirit team, angels, galaxy guides, ancestors, saints, sages, gods, goddesses, universes, here for the highest love and light as well as mine. And we thank your source and my source for immediately shifting the situations into what they need to be, offering necessary insights, healings, acts of grace, protection. Heartily, we are grateful. And so it was, and so it was, and so it was, and so it was, and so it is, and so it was. And thank you for making it abundantly clear what may be helpful to Scorpio. 2 cards, Scorpio. Thank you so much. Source, adult. Look, it's on they hit the rainbow. The rose quartz and the jasper. This is vitality and keeping your body the way you love it, so you may enjoy that vitality and this unconditional love. This garnet is the groundedness and that sacred geometry. I think it's the rhombic dodecahedron. The cards just flew over there, so I thought I'd include that. And then we have adult and abundance. How fun that they're parallel colors, right? That green. It's calling to my mind the Anahata chakra, the heart chakra. And the heart chakra has 2 triangles that are interlocked. One triangle facing downwards like this one, and the other one going upwards, reminding us that with every circumstance that happens, we have a choice that we can go down with it or go up with it. And so that's one thing that's coming to my head as I'm looking at these cards and seeing those triangles. I apologize, one of those was out of bounds. And then, how does this work? So beautifully. Thank you. These cards are so beautiful. I just love them. All right, so I'm also noticing that moon, the crescent moon. We have a full moon in Sagittarius coming up on the 4th. The 3rd, depending on where you are. Quadruple check. I'm feeling that air energy, that adult, pardon me, the flow is reminding me of air. Could also be sun rays, mountain, trees, evergreen, red thread running through. So all these different pieces. Strawberries, yummy, abundance. Grapes, could be grapes. You know, the thing about harvesting, those of you who farm know it's time consuming, and it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of energy to yield the crops. And so this is an indication that you've been putting in the work and the abundance is coming to you. And that beautiful rose in the background, you can see that as well. So abundance and adult, sun and moon. This is like sun and moon. How interesting. So let's see what else comes out. There are 3 parts to each of these cards, so I invite you to settle in and just also enjoy the fact that you can come back at any time this month of June 2023 or throughout the rest of the year through June 2024, or whenever you're taking this in, you can come back and revisit and help yourself integrate or activate or embody different parts that were speaking to you. So, meaning you don't have to get it all right now, right? I just want to give you that heads up so you can just relax into the rest of this reading as I find the cards. And I'm just going to start with abundance. So the first part is Witch's Wheel. And here are the words associated with that. Water, autumn, west, sunset, adult, how interesting, disseminating moon, expression, counsel, ancestor, initiation. So perhaps this is, I mean, it's like a whole story there, like the initiation you've been going through. And the water just jumping out at me, just reminding all the different ways we treat ourselves with water, all the different water spells, from drinking our 8 glasses of water or however many suit your body, drinking that water to keep ourselves hydrated, to swimming in the ocean with the salt water, to blessing our water. There's so many different ways that we apply water in our healing circles, in our daily life, that's so creative and artful. And so this witch's wheel correspondence is reminding of that, and perhaps applying it to these adult expressions and counsels and initiations to help activate and honor the flow. Interesting. So, spell, here's the spell. Alignment with my passions and refining their expression through my work is a truer measure of my worth than anything else I have known. I claim myself in sovereignty. I am an embodiment of riches. I arrive easily to my offerings of self-love. I am nourished deeply in the effortless harvest of the sweetness of engagement. As I untangle myself from a past within which I will no longer flourish, I become magnetic and lean into an easy sense of wonder, meaning, and purpose. I trust myself to act responsibly and take accountability in the face of blessings and challenges in equal measure. May I choose to harvest joy. How super sweet. I mean, that's really just revealing of the whole cycle of going through loss and trauma and being able to be in the moment and feel it and then grow past it and learn from it. And now it's one of your life lessons. Instead of something you lament about or are bitter about, you've chosen to take it and turn it into gold. And that's so beautiful and speaks to your courage and your strength and your fortitude and your noble heart. So super sweet. Thank you for being so strong. Yeah, and just it's speaking to me so much, this spell, this middle part. As I untangle myself from a past within which I will no longer flourish, I become magnetic and lean into an easy sense of wonder, meaning, and purpose. Pardon me. Just speaking so much to the orphans and adoptees who have been working for this dismantling of these adoption fairy tales, or others who have been working for dismantling of gypsy myths in favor of Roma realities. All the different ways that there's been dismantling going on. Perhaps it's the patriarchy, you fill in the blank, and now there's also a rebuilding. But we've untangled ourselves from this old way of being. Like, we were in it, we were part of it, and then we decided, oh no, I've got to step out of this cycle. And so this spell is honoring that, you know, yes, I used to be that, I used to be a part of that, and now I'm not. I'm choosing a different way. I was born into the violent cycle as an orphan and adoptee, and then embedded into a violent cycle, and now I'm choosing a different way. I'm choosing to walk on the healing path. And maybe a softer way to say that violent cycle is the cutoff culture, illustrating there's a cutoff culture that allows us to cut off people, even babies. Just cut them off. Cut off that person. They're not worth it. Or you're too young to take care of a child. Just cut it off. Or we don't have enough money. Just give it up. All the different ways that cutoff culture plays out. That person's no good. Just cut him out of your life. And to be an orphan, abandoned by that culture, but then you are adopted into it. It's something to pull yourself out and to walk a whole nother path and to honor what was, and that you were a part of that and now you're not. That's huge. That's so huge, so tremendous. And the abundance that's coming to you and that is already with you because of the righteousness of your choices, for the foresight of your soul and heart and mind to be able to choose this path for yourself. Maybe foresight isn't the correct word, but there's a certain tenacity, willpower, to honor that, to free your will from that old way of life and to dismantle that old earth, to step out of those violent cycles and to help rebuild a new earth based on peace and joy. And thank you for honoring that. So super sweet, Scorpio. So now this adult card, it fits with that. Like, you've done the work. Like, now you know. Like, oh yeah, adulting, right?
Okay, thank you, buddy.
So yeah, it's a beautiful day. People are in it. You may hear them pass by. Thank you for helping me bless them on their way, and safe travels for them as they go from here to there. So now adult. Here is the Witch's Wheel correspondence. Water, autumn, west, sunset, abundance. Isn't that interesting? Disseminating moon, expression, counsel, ancestor, initiation. I feel like those words are very similar, and you know the cards are side by side in the book, and the words in that Witch's Wheel correspondence are very similar. So that's so super sweet that these came out together, just really indicating we can really lean into this, Scorpio. And those of you who are Scorpio with your sun sign or your rising or wherever you have Scorpio in your charts, you can lean into this part. This Witch's Wheel correspondence, so super sweet, and reminding us, especially during this time, to keep hydrated or to continue our water treatments, or maybe think about changing our water treatments as we go through June or through this next year to help honor what is and keep us in our flow. So here is the spell for adult. Pedal to the metal, bitches. We are in our sacred work now. I have built this temple of blood and bone. I have learned to trust my boundaries, and so I am now prepared to share my heartfelt purpose. I know what to share with the world around me, what to keep close except for a trusted few, and what should remain intimate and private. I expand my worldview to better understand how my work weaves into the greater collective. I am applying the power of lessons learned and putting faith in my own grace. So super sweet, Scorpio, especially for the orphans and adoptees who were in these circumstances where their boundaries were violated, simply. And to honor what was, and to be able to choose a new way and to create new healthy boundaries, equitable boundaries, dignified boundaries. That's huge. That's a huge piece of the dismantling that's been going on across fields. But we can see it really specifically in this circumstance with the orphan and adoptee, and how their boundaries were violated, and knowing at a certain point they recreate that to create something more healthy and dignified and equitable. And instead of being in a hierarchical position, or where the adoption serves more the birth families or the adoptive families than the orphan, it's more about a prescription for the others to overcome their loss than the orphan in many circumstances. But please take that as it resonates. I'm not trying to say it's across the board or to cast aspersions, just trying to shed light on these boundaries that so many of us, not just orphans and adoptees, so many of us have been reworking our boundaries to be more equitable and dignified. And so how it plays out in this one sphere in many different instances that you can see for yourself. And you don't have to take my word for it. So what a sweet spell to honor that work, that intense boundary work, and that often looks like us dancing away from our old way of life, from people, places, and things. We just can't hang out there anymore, because when we do, our energy is compromised and we end up perhaps mirroring the madness and acting violently ourselves. And we don't want to do that anymore. We don't want to hurt ourselves. We don't want to hurt anybody else. And so totally changing our boundaries and the way we walk and the way we talk to honor that. That's some hearty work. So thank you so much for being so strong and courageous. This is huge, Scorpio. Thank you. I mean, it's such big work that some people would prefer to go to war or take down towers, right? But you're not doing that. You're choosing a different path, or you're thinking about choosing a different path, and that's just tremendous. So thank you so much. So the guiding messages: self-respect is self-love. Root deeper. Embrace courage. Track your impact beyond what is personal. Are you in your own work? Act with authority and trust your experience. Boundaries, right? So intense, Scorpio. Thank you for digging so deep and doing the hardy work and honoring your boundaries as they were, and as you saw them shifting, and as you saw your needs were different than what those boundaries were holding. Thank you. So brave, so courageous. And so you can rest in that. You can rest in that work that you have done, and dismantling that old way of life and rebuilding this new way of life, and this abundance and this adultness and this wholeness, honoring, claiming it. Thank you for claiming your glory. Thank you for walking in your truth as it keeps shifting. And that is what I am seeing that may help you as you move through this June 2023 and through the next year. Thank you so much for helping breathe life into Adoption Spirit Magic. Heartily, we are grateful. Until next time, ciao for now. We love you all.